guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to do my top 15 media experiences that you can have on the Oculus Quest. So these are all, most of these are actually free on this list, besides a couple of them, but these are all different applications or experiences that you can have when it comes to movie watching or media experiences on the Quest. There's so many different things out there that people forget about, from Oculus TV, from the stuff you can watch in Meta Horizon Worlds, and all these different applications that exist that sometimes go by people's radar because it's not the newest hot game out there and stuff like that. But I'm here to tell you there's a lot more in the Oculus Quest ecosystem that it has to offer you than in not just games. Sometimes these experiences can really hit home for you. Sometimes, you know, you get these stories that are being told to you in new ways that you've never seen before. And some of these experiences that really hit home for me, it really makes you think about life, really makes you think about, you know, not take life for granted and, you know, live in the moment and in the present. And some of these experiences here really remind you of that. Some of them go through our history, you know, like 9/11 or the Holocaust and stuff like that, you know, all of us remember, you know, where we were in school and being taught about these things and stuff like that. So there's an experience in here, or a movie experience or media experience here for everyone. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, the first one here coming in at number 15 is On the Morning You Wake to the End of the World. This is a really unique presentation on basically what it would be like if Hawaii came across a text message that they received that basically had a state of emergency on it that said, hey, ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii, seek immediate shelter, this is not a drill. And it kind of goes through the story of, you know, explaining what would happen, where they would go, how the community would react if they had a nuclear blast, how they would explain it to their children, how they would live in that world and stuff like that. It is a really unique take on that story, and I love the graphic art style on how they tell this story as well. Really, really unique, and it's from the same producers, as you guys can see, from Notes on the Blindness, which is one that we will be talking about later in this video as well. But I think they did a fantastic job showcasing this. I love, you know, these kind of documentaries of like what if, or kind of, you know, things that didn't actually happen, but they're kind of telling you what would happen if that was the case. Kind of love stories like that, and this is a really unique one. So, On the Morning You Wake, coming in at number 15. The next one here, coming in at number 14 and 13, actually, is going to be Theater Elsewhere. This is the application you download, but specifically I'm going to be talking about two experiences on here. One of them is called the Soda series, and the other one is called 40 Days Lost to the Sun. These are my two favorite experiences I've come across on Theater Elsewhere, and Theater Elsewhere is basically hand-painted and animated stories created by a bunch of creators from all over the world. There's over 2,400 different experiences in there, and it is really, really cool. It's free to download, and if you guys haven't seen this already, I would definitely recommend it. And like I said, these are the two stories that have really, you know, touched me, and love the stories of both of these. The Soda one is a series of multiple movies and clips and stuff like that, which is really cool, and 40 Days Lost is its own unique experience, and the animations that people do on here are really, really cool. Check it out, guys. Theater Elsewhere, coming in at number 13 and 14. The next one here, coming in at number 12, is called Nightmare, and this is a 3-part series, and it is on Oculus TV. If you guys have you know, seen Oculus TV on your Quest there, where there's a bunch of different TV shows and clips and stuff like that. This is on there, and it is free to watch, and it is a really, really unique art style, as you guys are seeing here, but also a really unique take on a story. This is from a character called Mara, and she's an 11-year-old foster kid, and basically she has the power to traverse through people's nightmares in the nightmare world. And if that doesn't already interest you right there, you know, that catchline interested me. As soon as I saw it, I was like, huh, that sounds like an interesting thing that I haven't seen before. And then I saw the graphic art style that you guys are seeing here, and, you know, immediately wanted to try it out. And the fact that it's a 3-part series really makes you feel engulfed into the story. Check out Nightmare on Oculus TV, coming in at number 12. The next one here, coming in at number 11, is called The Faceless Lady. This is a 6-part series that's actually in Horizon Worlds. I'm sure a lot of you guys know about Horizon Worlds and how I feel about it on this channel, and this is in that application. And this is actually a really cool series. Basically, this is taking 3 young couples that are basically drawn by a castle that they experience and the mysterious owner, and they have to compete in these kind of historical games that they're playing against, and basically whoever wins those historical games basically ends up taking the mansion and everything in it between the living and the dead. It is a really cool, movie experience. Like I said, it's a 6-part series, and it's really well done in the environment that you're in. Since it takes place in Horizon Worlds, it's not just a regular, 2D screen that you're looking at. They built an environment around it, which makes you feel even more engulfed into the series that they made and into this. This is really, really awesome. One of my favorite things that I've experienced when it comes to media in Horizon Worlds. The Faceless Lady coming in at number 11. The next one here coming in at number 10 is Note to Blindness, the one that we were alluding to when we first talked about the first one on this list. And this is a really cool and unique story, probably the ones that's touched me the most on this list, because a lot of us take life for granted. And, going through the story of listening to someone who became blind, and he basically uses these audio cassette tapes to kind of basically tell his story of what it's like to now live with blindness and his life. And the storytelling and the graphical art direction that this thing has is really, really good. But it really makes you feel something, and it really makes you think about life and just think about, other people's experiences out there and not taking life for granted, at least what it did to me. And like I said, the emotional journey that you go on to this one is really, really unique. Really touched by this one. I don't know anybody who has blindness in their life, so this is really cool to get that perspective of listening to the story and seeing what it's like from their side. And like I said, it really just, reminds you, don't take life for granted, because you never know, what may happen in your life, and live every day to the fullest, man, because you just don't know. And Notes to the Blindness, definitely one not to be missed in my opinion, and that comes in at number 10. The next one here coming in at number 9 is called The Rebels, and this is another one that is on Oculus TV. This is another one that came from Quill Theater. It used to be its own application, but now everything is sitting in Oculus TV like we were talking about before. And this is one of my favorite things that I've ever seen in Oculus TV and in Quill Theater back in the day. And basically what happens here is that there is a law that it's placed on a city, and basically it goes into a state of chaos. And basically these group of rebels that are known to be rebels are basically fighting against it. It's a really cool animation. Some of the things that they do in here, and I think what makes this one stand out from some of the other things that I've seen from Quill Theater that's now on Oculus TV, is some of the animations and some of the cool things that they do in here that I didn't even know Quill can do. Back when Quill Theater was its own thing. And, that's what really makes this one stand out. It's not just the story. It's what they do in the actual Quill Theater application that used to be around back in the day to really make these animations stand out. It is super, super awesome, super cool, and a really cool story to follow as well. Rebels coming in at number 9. The next one here coming in at number 8 is called Henry. And I don't know about you guys, but I remember when I first I think this originally came out on the Oculus Rift, if I'm not mistaken, which is where I saw it. And it's still now available on the Oculus Quest as well, man. And I remember when Henry, this short animation film that came out, literally blew my mind because how good it was and how good it looked. And I was like, man, I can't wait for more stories like this. And Henry still holds up to this day. And it still gives me those memories of, how good I remember the Rift being back in the day, and kind of how VR kind of started for me back in the day. And man, this experience is still awesome. It's a really cute and touching story. It's pretty short, but it really, hits you right where it needs to hit you in the feelings and stuff like that, making you look at Henry and feel for him. And kind of some people even resonate with the story because of stuff that may have happened in their lives as well, which is kind of the whole point of these things, to really make you think about what maybe has gone on in your life and kind of, process those feelings and those memories and stuff like that. And that's what Henry did for a lot of people, even though it was short. And it's just an awesome experience, and it really got started with me for my love of film and animation in VR back when I watched this back on the Oculus Rift. And now it's awesome that it's on the Oculus Quest as well. So Henry coming in at number 8. The next one here coming in at number 7 is called Namu, and this is also on Oculus TV. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. I didn't know this before I started the video, but the studio that made this actually is a 6-time Emmy Award-winning animation studio, which is pretty cool. And basically in this one, it is an emotional journey that basically takes you through a man's life. It's really cool. As a tree kind of grows in this scene, it kind of takes you through his core memories of his life and really taking you from the beginning to the end, and it is really cool. And again, another one that gets you really emotional because you start portraying it on your own life and kind of, reliving all your core memories and stuff like that. At least it did it for me. And that's what makes these stories super fun, is when, you can kind of relate to them and kind of see yourself through their lenses of what the story is telling you. It is really, really well done, really, really unique. It kind of reminds me of a Disney animated film in that way, and the way that they're telling this story. It's really, really fun. One of my favorite things that I've seen, on the Oculus, and that is Namu. The next one here coming in at number 6 is called Apollo 11. I don't know if you guys remember the original version that was on the Rift. This is a completely redone version now with all new assets, textures, animations, lighting, all that stuff. And basically this is obviously the telltale that a lot of us know about, which is when we first landed on the moon, and it goes through the history and stuff like that, and they do a really good job of telling you the history from beginning to end of us landing on the moon, using different animations, sometimes watching the original speech on that little TV in front of you, and then showing you like you're actually in the actual spaceship going up into space and listening to the countdown. In my opinion, this is super, super well done, and the graphics and the stuff that they redid is really, really cool. And anyone who's a fan of our history or landing on the moon and stuff like that, this is definitely not one to be missed. It's super awesome and well worth the $9.99 in my opinion. It's really, really well done, and yeah, it's fantastic. Apollo 11 coming in at number 6. The next one here coming in at number 5 is Anne Frank's House VR. And I think a lot of us know, about the Holocaust and how important it was to our history at this point. And this is another one that is super well done. Not only can you explore Anne Frank's house and how she was in hiding and stuff like that, but it also walks you through the story as well if you want to. So you can free walk around her home, but also listen to the story and her taking you through it. Man, what a fantastic experience, and a story that obviously none of us can forget at this point, and a part of our culture and our history and stuff like that. And I remember when I first read the book in high school. I think or I don't know if it was high school or grammar school where I read this book. I can't remember, but I'll never forget reading this book and talking about it in class and how important of an effect it had on all of us. And it's really well done in VR. It's definitely not one to be missed if you like history and want to check this out. Anne Frank House VR coming in at number 5. The next one here coming in at number 4 is Surviving 9/11 on Oculus TV, and obviously keeping up with the history theme here. Obviously none of us can forget this day. I'll never forget where I was in class when, going through science, that I was there, getting those phone calls and everyone in class going crazy because they had family members that were in New York that day. I'll never forget that my family was actually supposed to go into New York that day, and for whatever reason, they were going to go to the World Trade Center, and that morning they just canceled because I don't know if one of them didn't feel well, or whatever the case was back then, but they decided to skip it, and all of this happened afterwards. And man, speaking of this stuff is just insane, and reliving this in VR and the way that they're telling the story and listening to some of the survivors and stuff like that, and us going through this, and man, it's definitely something that we'll be talking to our kids forever. It's one of those stories that you're like, oh my god, I remember when our parents knew this and stuff like that. It's one of those, and it's something that obviously none of us will ever forget where we were, what was happening, and all of that. And just thinking about it makes you go crazy. It was just a crazy time of what happened back then, and they did a fantastic job retelling this story so none of us forget it. It's my favorite thing I've ever seen on Oculus TV, and that is Surviving 9/11 coming in at number 4. The next one here coming in at number 3 is the NBA Courtside. So this is in Horizon Worlds that we were talking about before in that application that all of us have on our Quest, and they have an NBA arena experience world kind of thing that you can go in there, be in the locker room, but more importantly, watch a bunch of NBA games, some of them live, sitting courtside. And I don't think for people who haven't experienced this in VR, it is really, really cool to be sitting there courtside watching the NBA game. And the fact that they're still offering this stuff for free for some of the NBA games, you guys need to check this out, especially if you're an NBA fan. This comes in at number 3. And the next one, kind of going through the same theme, coming in at number 2 in Horizon Worlds as well, is the Music Valley area, which is where you get to see live concerts and stuff like that. And watching a live concert, they just did Shawn Mendes, they did Sabrina Carpenter a couple of months ago and stuff like that. And I hope that they continue doing this. And watching them in 3D is a whole nother thing. It really makes you feel like you're in there. The quality of this has gotten so much better than what the concerts were originally in Horizons back a few years ago. And now it really has taken it up a notch. And the fact that they're finally filming these in 3D, unlike the first ones that used to come out a couple of years ago, really elevates this experience on how awesome it freaking is to watch these, with other people, feeling like you're in a concert, watching them in 3D. It's an awesome experience, and it comes in at number 2. And the number one media experience that I recommend here on the Oculus Quest platform is definitely Bigscreen. I mean, you can watch tons and tons of things in here. It's a very big social thing. You and up to 14 other people can be in a room. You can either be playing games on a gigantic, screen with other players, playing split screen games. You could be watching movies, TV shows, sports, all these different things that people are hosting together. And these fantastic 3D environments that now people are actually creating themselves as well. The Bigscreen has a ton of different ones here that are really cool to play in. Drive-in theater, movie theaters, gigantic regular movie theaters, apartment buildings, all of these different things, sports bars that really make you feel like you're in the experience, and you never know what people are going to be showing because there's public lobbies of people showing different things. Sometimes there's people having karaoke events where you can go ahead and all sing together. Sometimes people are showing sporting events, concerts, and whatever the case may be, there is always people in here, always a great social area. There's always people hosting different rooms. It's never boring. Always people talking about different topics if you want to do that. Really, really cool. It's been around for a while, and I love it. I pop in here every now and again, watch different things, and I love showcasing this. Bigscreen coming in at number 1. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my top 15 on this list. Let me know if there's anything I missed on this list that I haven't watched yet that you guys think I should watch that has been an amazing experience for you guys. And if you guys want to help me and support the channel, as usual, some of the ones that you have to pay for, the links will be down in the description below. And I appreciate everybody for watching. Till next time.